What's going on? Back at it again with another episode of True Capacity Talks. Just your boy here, no whiteboard again. Wanted to dive in on a subject that came up on one of our team calls today, and that's clients that are unhappy with the lack of novelty in their programs. And when I'm specifically talking about this, what I'm speaking about that people are lacking novelty in is the actual exercise regimen itself. So typically, what people don't realize before they start getting a coach and they start working with somebody is that the things that are going to get you to the goal that you truly have are usually more boring than not, right? They're usually not the things that people are on Instagram flexing about. They're usually not the things that people are doing on ESPN, or they're doing on the front of Gymville Nation, or they're doing for, the views, double cheeked up, with their butt towards the camera when they are lifting their shoulders. Most of the time, the workouts that people are seeing that are fun or flashy or look cool are workouts that even those influencers themselves are not doing. So I want you to be careful. I think it would be very beneficial for you to proceed with caution when you come back to any coach, come back to your coach, you talk to a new coach about not having fun during your exercise, not having fun doing the fitness that you're on. Chances are that the routine that somebody has you pushing on is a routine that's going to get you to the goal that you shared with that coach, hopefully before you started, that you had. Because if you have not been able to get to that goal yourself, you've tried the PDFs, you tried the random Instagram workouts, you tried the random class drop-ins, you tried all kinds of things, and you haven't been able to hit your goal. And then you hire a coach and you spend $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $7, $8, $12,000 on it, regardless in person or online. And you stop having fun, and so you think it's not working. Chances are it's probably working better than you think it is, but you're just not enjoying the boring work. And that's okay. You don't have to enjoy the boring work. And if your goal is not aesthetics, performance, it's, if there's not a bigger reason why you're doing this, right, then you can just jump into, the fitness casual lifestyle. You can do class pass. You can jump into yoga here and there. You can walk on the days that you feel like it. You can care about your health on the days that you feel like it. A lot of people are predisposed to just being in better health, and their active lifestyles lend themselves to a position where they don't have extra body fat percentage, being high. They don't have extra potential comorbidities from genetics and from other things because they live an active life. They eat mostly whole foods. They were brought up on mostly whole foods. Some people started on the rung at different places than others did. But I think that something that you've got to be very intentional about is understanding, right? Yes, people start at different places, but when you have a goal and you have a reason for having that goal, it might be okay if some days are boring. It might be okay if some exercises you don't love. It might be okay if you have to suffer in silence a little bit in the gym with yourself or with your trainer. It might just be okay. And in fact, getting used to the discomfort of doing things that aren't so fun and doing them anyways is how you build discipline, right? It's how you don't just lean on motivation to get shit done, because motivation is fleeting. Motivation is like sadness. It's like excitement. It's like happiness. It's fleeting. It's an emotion. It's something you feel. You can choose to show up whether you feel like dog shit or you feel amazing. And the goal, the guiding light, right? The macro goal, the outcome goal that you should be looking for, if you have a big reason why you're doing what you're doing, is to hit consistency, right? And so one of the coaches that works with True Capacity, Coach Brett, that I'm sure that y'all have seen both on 80/20 and y'all have also seen in our Facebook group if you're in there, or maybe you've even had the pleasure of getting reached out to on Instagram or Facebook from him. He brought to me that a client of his was not having too much fun. And more recently, one of my clients said the same thing. "Oh, I'm not having too much fun, coach." And I was like, "But aren't you dropping the weight? Aren't you moving heavier weight in the gym? Isn't your body looking closer to what you wanted?" Sometimes it's not going to be fun. Sometimes I don't want to strap a rucksack on my back and go walk. Sometimes I don't want to show up to train clients that have paid me hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars to come train them. And it's not because I think that they don't deserve to be trained. It's that sometimes I don't feel like it. I'm tired. I'm sore. I worked out too much. Or I want to be a lazy piece of shit and lay on the couch and watch Netflix. I'm not assigning a moral value to that, but I am saying that it's important, extremely important, for us to be aware that sometimes we just have to have some discipline. Sometimes fitness isn't going to be fun. Sometimes meal prepping isn't going to be fun. Sometimes hitting your daily steps isn't going to be fun. You need to do it anyways, unless you want to give up the goal. And I don't think that anyone that is taking enough time out of their day to reach out to a coach, whether it be Brett, myself, Daniel, or anyone else, I don't think that anyone that's cared enough to reach out and say that would rather give up the goal. I think that that person is asking for something to change up so that they can get motivated again. And sometimes your coach is going to tell you, you just need to suck it up, buttercup. Other times you can look at things. If you've been doing the same programming, 12 to 16 weeks, okay, maybe we can look at, changing things up. There's not a problem there, right? 4 to 6 to 8 weeks on the same workouts, not a problem. Pushing past that, you can change it up. But sometimes, doing similar exercises, if you're continuing to progressive overload, you're continuing to go up in resistance and go down in tempo, so slower reps with more weight, well, then you're improving. You're improving. And if you're improving, why would we change something drastically just because it's not that fun? So I want you to keep that in mind, that if you are struggling with that, or you're on the other side and you're like, whoa, my workouts are so fun, but I don't look the way that I want to. Maybe audit where you're at. Maybe look at, are you chasing novelty and, enjoyment during the exercise more than you are the goal that the exercise should set you up for, right? Because you exercise to live a healthier life, to look better, booty bone naked. I absolutely like to look better when I'm clapping cheeks. I like to look better when I'm by myself coming out of the shower, right? And look in the mirror. I like that. And you can call that vain, you can call that shallow, you can call that whatever you want, but I like it. And so I'm going to continue to work out and position certain things in my life so that that is better for me. There's a lot of health benefits that come with that, right? But at the end of the day, none of us make it out alive. We all die in this meat sack at some point on this earth, regardless. So I think it might be better to just have a little bit more fun, push a little harder, learn who you are, test your mind, and go after it. Not every workout's going to be fun. Yesterday, we were training for a competition, CrossFit competition, team of 4 down in Pensacola at the end of the month. And I'll tell you right now, that team training, I wrote the damn programming yesterday, and I hated it about halfway through. Not because the programming was shit, but because I was being lazy. And the first two couplets that we did destroyed me. And so I wanted to quit, right? And I could have said, oh, we've already trained a lot. Oh, the competition is in 3 or 4 weeks. We're going to be okay, yada, yada, yada. It is what it is. But I decided to show up and say, you know what? Discipline must be enacted here. I'll be okay. So long as I have breath after this, I'll be okay. And I think that is something that we got to remind ourselves on the fitness portion, that if your coach is doing a shit job, call them out, right? If your coach is doing a shit job, bring it to their attention. Any coach is worth their weight in salt will adjust, will hear your feedback and adjust. But if you're week 4, 6, 7, or 8 on the same exercises and you're progressing and you just want to change because it's not fun, sit down. You're paying to get to a goal. You're paying to feel a certain way. You're paying for someone to get you to that thing that you don't have. You're not paying for them to switch your workouts every 5 minutes like you would on Instagram if you were doing it for yourself. Keep that in mind. You will get better results, but call a coach out if they're being complacent. Absolutely. We should all be raising the standard, all of us. I hope you all are having a great Tuesday, and have a wonderful night. Peace.